Hi, Doug.
Hello, Dean.
Okay, Doug. So hypothetically, you just started. It's day one of a 1 year long fractional CMO engagement. Okay.
Mhm.
What does a fractional CMO do in the first 90 days?
Sure thing. I think there's three
Oh,
main.
I'm sorry, Doug. Uh, I know who you are, but we should. I should remind you to let everyone else know who you are as well. Sorry about that.
Sure. I mean, as you said, my name's Doug Hunter. I'm a fractional CMO who has primarily worked in B2B tech. For example, I recently built the marketing function at a Series A startup that used AI for dynamic pricing. Before that,
Hmm,
I built and led multiple marketing strategy teams for Lattice Semiconductor, a public company. And my most recent advisory client is a B2B software development firm, and I'm based
okay.
here in Portland, Oregon. So, what does a fractional CMO do in the first 90 days?
Yeah.
I think there's three main streams of work, which I say is sequentially it's assess, it's quick hits, and then
Hmm.
it's looking at long-term change. So assess is you need to understand, you may be a subject matter expert in the industry, in marketing in general, but you need to understand that company and its environment, that company, its competitors, and the staff. And so you need to honestly go look and listen to everybody and talk to everybody. There's also pulling together a lot of data analysis. There's what people tell you, and then there's what the numbers tell you. And hopefully they
Yeah.
align, and sometimes they don't. And from that, you can start to work on quick hits. So there's quick hits like process, implementing racing matrices, clarifying who does what, bringing in new tools, cleaning up the usage of tools. And then after that, you start working on the long term change, which can be building programs, capability, and building capacity. So assess, quick hits, and then long term change.
Okay. And all right. So let's see how that plays out. So, Jevon, hi.
Hey,
And
Dean.
so same question. Let folks know who you are, and then what do you do typically in the first 90 days of an
Okay.
engagement?
Yeah, so I'm Jevon Ragoonanan. I'm a fractional CMO. I
Okay.
focus on the wellness industry with clients doing around 1 million in revenue. It can be a pretty wild field, from like virtual reality coaches to physical products and even events. What ties them all together for me is is really that they're trying to make a positive change in the world, and I want to be able to help them make that impact on a much bigger scale.
Right.
Mhm.
So
First
first
90
thing,
days.
first
How
90
do you
days. So
triage
first
it?
thing,
What do you tackle?
it's very similar to what Doug here said.
Uh-huh.
It's I'm checking what has worked for them already up until this point. Where are they trying to go long term? I'm checking their customer journey and what is the customer truly want. Because a lot of times we as marketers we know that customers don't really want features, they want the benefits, they want the value, they want the attention or the status that they're going to get from using a certain product or service, or that impact that's going to have. That's what they're truly after. I'm checking their brand. I want to see how big do they want their brand to go, and what do they want to see their brand becoming. Because I'm sure you guys have all heard, like, the brand is very very important, and it's a foundational piece that a lot of everything else is built on top of. But
Right.
a lot of guys, they don't really understand their brand, or they don't know what they want their brand to become. So the first thing I'm going to check is like, hey, what are you trying to do? What do you want this to grow into? What's the vision? Um, there's something else about it. Um, and I'm also checking how does the team work well with each other, not just like within the marketing department, but also like within other departments. So a lot of times there's a lot of miscommunication. Like, marketers don't understand what sales guys looking for. They don't understand what the company can do long term. They don't understand what the team, like other departments, need. And when they don't have that synchronicity or synchronicity, I think the word is, there are a lot of miscommunications, and the company as a whole is not on the same page. And I check in. Yeah, there are probably some
Yeah,
other things I just don't remember off
I
the
was
top of my
going
head.
to say I've talked to and I know a lot of heads of sales. Every one of them knows that they know everything there is to know about marketing. So just so like a little counterpoint there
Mm.
about him
Yeah.
not understanding marketing, they feel they completely understand marketing, my friend.
Dean, that's okay. Every marketing person feels they completely understand sales.
That is true, yes. Or definitely knows all the important things about sales. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so Javon, how about this? Like, let's switch gears. and you're not the fractional CMO. You're the CEO of this client. Okay, for our 1 year engagement. Like, all right. So how are you gonna get like max? How are you gonna squeeze every last penny of value out of that first year of a fractional CMO?
Okay. What I would do is I would lay out a clear expectation or list of expectations of what I want the CMO to do, what I believe he's responsible for. Because sometimes CEOs don't really know what the CMO is responsible for. And even some CMOs don't even know what they're truly responsible for. I'll list it. I'll say, hey, I want you to do these things. I want you to be able to give me updates every so often and lay out the plan of what we're going to do and how we're going to execute on that. And also really like welcome him to the team and see who's the team or who's Doug, sorry.
No, we're still here.
Okay. Oh, here's okay.
Fella, here
He's and I really check to see like long term, make sure he's on the same page with us and knowing, hey, this is where we're trying to go, but we don't really know how to get there. We're bringing you on because we believe you can help us get there, and make sure he like truly understands that, and also understands like there's open communication. There's no like, hey, I asked you to do this thing, but if you're not sure, you're not clear, like come back to me. We'll get on the same page, and knowing that mistakes are going to happen. Not everything's going to work the way you want it to be. Something's going to work very well and explode. Some things may not work, but it's okay. Like it's not like, oh my god, you messed up one thing, the world's gonna stop rotating. But no, that's cool. Let's keep going. I want to make sure like that CMO understands
that. Hey Doug, I want to ask the same question, but I want to invert it. Okay, so if I'm the CEO at the client, like a typical CEO at a typical client, how do I waste the money that I managed to get put aside to pay for a fractional CMO for that year? What do I do or not do that ends up like nullifying the effect of hiring that person in the first place?
Yeah, just invert everything Jevon just said. I think well, it's don't set clear expectations. Just just like, okay, hey, go do marketing and walk away, and we'll have a one-on-one in 3 months. That's a sure way to kill the value. Don't have any type of success metrics.
Right.
Don't have any way of objectively measuring whether or not it's working or it's not working. And make it really ambiguous what the boundary conditions are, but what can be changed and not changed. And the CMO goes down the path of changing out some people or changing a process or clarifying and tightening message. You come back and go like, no, don't do that. It's just and then just micromanaging. You brought in a senior experienced marketing leader for a reason. Let them go do their job.
Right.
Kind of mirroring what Jevon said: clear expectations, clear success metrics, clear boundary conditions, and get out of the way.
All right. So let's say that I'm the executive, the rest of the C-suite or executive leadership team, or I am the CEO or the board, right?
Yeah.
We've brought on a fractional CMO. 12 months from now, how is my marketing team better or different than it was on the first day when that person just got started?
Yeah,
How's the team better or different?
Yeah, I think a fractional CMO can bring three things to a marketing team at a company that needs a fractional CMO. So nominally, we're assuming here that this is a smaller company, a startup, a small ongoing business. The first thing a fractional CMO can bring is attention. Someone to meet with the marketing team and think about what's going on. So often you have, as the CEO, then the only other marketing person is the junior content person, and the CEO's got much bigger problems than the junior content person, and doesn't give them the time of day, doesn't give them what I think is the second thing, which is direction. There's going to be less flailing, there's going to be more systematic evaluation, there's going to be a master plan which the team is going after. And I think the third thing is morale on the team is going to be higher because the team will now have an advocate. Because there's a lot of things in the weeds, like office politics, getting raises, getting the tools that you need, having working processes, that you need a senior level person to be able to come in and wrangle those things. So the marketing team will be better because it has attention, it has direction, and it has an advocate.
All right. Jevon, what do you think? How is the marketing team different?
I agree with pretty much everything you said. It's huge to have a guy who can kind of mitigate how the CEO is going to talk. Because like you said, the CEO and then the highest guy is like the content guy. There's a big gap. There's a lot of miscommunication that can happen in between there because the junior guy doesn't understand what CEO is going through, and the CEO is like, why don't the junior guys understand what I'm trying to do on a day-to-day basis? That CMO can be like the middleman and really help to guide the team and make sure they're on the right path, and also be able to communicate what that translates to for the business. So the CEO is like, okay, cool, we're getting where we need to go. I also believe the junior marketing team they'll have more guidance in a way as well
Well,
because they
actually,
will
you know what? Let's talk about the junior. Let's pretend that I am on your client's marketing team. Okay, I am the most junior employee. Like, I'm
okay.
just starting my career in marketing. All right. Um, what am I going to learn, or what should I be trying to learn or change in the 1 year that I have with this fractional CMO in my world?
Okay. He's gonna. You're saying what is he gonna learn from the fractional CMO?
Yeah, like what's the opportunity here?
Okay. Yeah, the CMO will help to bring a lot of experience and understanding that he's worked with multiple different companies already. So he already has a pretty good understanding what's going to work and what's not going to work. And so he's going to save that junior guy the headache and the failure and like the mishaps that he'd run into. Help him be like, hey, I recommend don't do this because you're going to run into this problem. And then all those headaches that it just saved in that way. Also, the junior guy is going to learn marketing as it pertains to the business, not just as its marketing, because he'll understand how it helps the business grow and why the marketing department is so important for the business, not just as in, oh, we want to have, click-through rates and open rates and conversions and engagement. That's all cool, but how does it pertain to the business? And the CMO is going to help to bridge that gap.
Through
Um,
context and
yeah,
scope, I guess.
context. And then he also helped to, if that junior guy is aspiring to be like a VP or CMO or any type of higher up executive, he'll be able to learn like how to talk to the rest of the C-suite because each C-suite guy speaks their own language. And I'm sure
Right.
Doug sees many times like this. You got to learn how to talk to the CFO. You got to learn how to talk to COO. You got to learn how to talk to CHRO, CTO. Like they all speak their own thing, and they're all things that they pay attention to. And by being able to like kind of sit there in the shadow, you can see, okay, if I talk to this specific executive, I need to go over these things because this is important to them. Okay, sweet. And they also understand how marketing, the way to explain it is like, imagine there are two dots in between and marketing is a bridge in between. And one dot's the business and the other dot's the customer.
Right.
And you'll understand how when the CMO sees an opportunity to give more value or expand the business in some way, he has to take that data, that research, and bring it to the C-suite and talk to like the CFO, like from a financial perspective, what's it going to look like, what the numbers going to run, how many more people are we going to get, from an operations perspective, what do we have to do to make this to make this opportunity come into reality? Okay, from a CHRO perspective, who do we have to recruit, not just in marketing but in other departments to make this legit? So he'll see the CMO doing all those things, and he'll be able to understand, okay, the big picture behind marketing.
All right. And Doug, so let's think about that 25-year-old, right? He or she at the beginning of their marketing career, right? You're not at the beginning of your marketing career, right? You can like see to an end point, not
Yeah,
tomorrow or maybe not even a decade, but you can see an end point, right? And then you look back and here's this person who's just
yeah,
25. Like you're looking at this person and saying like, if they were really smart, they would ask me about X, or they would
yeah,
get my opinion on Y
yeah,
or Z, right? What is that? What's that topic?
yeah. What are X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting when you talked about being able to see the end point. I'd also think of it as, I'm kind of at the pinnacle of my career.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I can see the big picture. And so I would ask about the big picture because,
Right.
if you're the 25-year-old, you're the social media person. You see this one narrow slice, but this one narrow slice fits into a much bigger omni-channel campaign. It fits into a strategic direction or a thrust. So what does that big picture look like? I think you would also learn about things like, Jevon talked about the office politics, essentially. If the CEO is asking you to do something stupid, there are ways you push back and there's ways you shouldn't push back, and there's,
Yeah.
and I've got the battle scars to help you understand which. You should be asking about creative ways of solving problems. Like I had a case where we wanted to have more visibility at conferences, but we didn't have the budgets to sponsor anything. So we went to the event organizers and said, hey, how about if we coordinate morning runs and walks? You spend all day in a conference, sitting down, eating rich food. People just want to get up in the morning and move.
Mm-hmm.
And so we provided guides, we provided runners, we provided, everything was needed. And so for free, we got on the conference agenda leading a run. And so, in the evening, the MC would get on the stage and say like, hey, Arjuna Solutions is sponsoring a run tomorrow morning. Go show up. It's tens of thousands of dollars of publicity for free. It's creativity. So teaching them how to think out of the box and get
Right.
beyond what they may think constraints are. And then teaching them to move quickly and autonomously. We need to pick up the pace. And part of that is you need to learn how to make decisions and how to operate in a vacuum and move independently. So I think there's a lot a senior person like Jevon or myself can bring to the 25-year-old. And there's things that we can learn from them. There's things like TikTok. I'm not a big TikTok guy. Didn't grow up with it natively. They did. I should learn it. I should learn from them. So it's a two-way street. We have to learn from them, and they have to learn from us.
Okay, Doug. So let's zoom out a bit. All right. In any given number of, let's say, 100 fractional CMOs today hit their 1-year anniversary with a client engagement. Okay.
Yep.
Some percentage of those fractional CMOs did not get renewed. Why? Why typically did they not get renewed?
I think you have to have two things to get renewed. One is result, and the other is fit. You were brought in to achieve a goal, to accomplish an aim, to hit a milestone.
Man.
You did or you didn't. And, now the nature of startup world is you're throwing a lot of spaghetti against the wall and you're pivoting, and hopefully the metrics change to reflect that. But at the end of the day, is the company a better place, and is the company advanced enough versus what the expectations were? The other thing is fit. You and I, Dean, both know a lot of people who are really, really effective and they're just complete and total jerks.
Yeah.
They don't pass the old airport test. And so do you fit with the team and do you deliver results? Then you've got a chance at continuing.
And Jevon, how about you? Why do you think the people who do get renewed got renewed?
Yeah, completely the invert of what Doug said. Completely agree with him. It's you dare as much as you're dare to get results, and you have to show the results, and you can't hide them. Like the results are like, hey, we were at 5 million when we first met you, and now we're doing 10 or 15 or 20 million now, and you can tell over the course of that time period. And like I said, how much do the team like you, and how much do you get along with them? Because if you're like Doug said, if you're always butting heads and always causing problems, you might not even last that long to the end of your tenure. They might get rid of you in 6 months because they realize you're not a good culture fit, and that's something that a lot of guys, not just CMOs, but other people have to understand is a culture fit. And the one thing that if you do get renewed and didn't get the results that you wanted may happen is depending on the long-term strategy that you laid out in the beginning, if it is a multi-year thing and you kind of knew in the beginning and everybody was on the same page, and that first year we're not going to blow up that hard or that high because we're making our products that much better, we're getting as many iterations as we can, and we're accepting the fact that we're not going to make a 10, 15, 20x revenue explosion. If they're okay with that and they understand, like, yeah, that first year was just a little bit, but that next 2, 3, 4 years that we're bringing them back, that's when we're going to blow up. And if they're on the same page with that, then they'll probably still bring you back, even if the results are not, through the roof. But yeah, those would be the two things that I would say that would happen.
Okay, then I think we're at the end of our time, so I need to wrap up. But so Jevon, I'm not trying to be unkind. Okay, I'm not. I'm just genuinely interested. There are easier ways to make a living than being a fractional CMO. There are many easier ways to make a living than being a fractional CMO. Like, why do you do this? Why is this fun?
It's a bit. Let me describe it. It's about being able to make the biggest kind of impact that I would like to be. So let's say I was just a CMO of one company. I can only work with that company in only so many different ways, but that company can only make an impact in the way it does. Where if I'm a fractional CMO, I can work with many different ones in many different industries and all have that same impact in that same way. And also from a skill and getting better perspective, the skill set of a CMO doesn't change regardless of the industry you're in. And
Right.
each time I work with a new company, or even if it's just like a one-on-one chat where I just get exposure to it, I'm still getting my CMO brain working. I get that much better. And so when I get to the point where it has a high ROI, and when I say ROI, I mean return on impact, not just
Mhm.
return on investment. It's a metric that I started to track. It's if I'm working with a company, do they have the highest return on impact? Yes. And if I'm just that much better, I can make an impact so quickly and in such a short amount of time. But that is it is more of like a gut check for me. Is like, what are you serious about doing? Because there are other things like there are very easy ways to do it. But if I'm serious about doing what I say I want to do, this is the past, so be it. This is where I'm going.
All right. And Doug, I mean, come on, man. You could be
Well,
nestled into a nice, university marketing job, sit in the same chair
yeah,
every day for 30 years. I mean, why?
yeah. Dean, I think there's three things that kind of come back to my inherent personality. One is this: I'm a builder, a
Hmm.
builder creator. I did one of these exercises where it's like, hey, you're this character who meets that character, and I'm like, okay, I'm Bob the builder who meets Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
And because I love to build things and I solve problems. And if you look at my LinkedIn profile, you'll see I've been continuously rotated from one position to the other at the different companies I've worked for. And that's because they're rotating me around to go build things. The second thing is I like the chess of it. If you think of a chessboard, you've got all these different pieces with all these different capabilities, and all these different ways they can move, and you have to move them all together towards some type of common goal. Your chess pieces aren't pawns and queens and rooks and knights. Your pet chess pieces are the 25-year-old social media person, as well as the veteran PR agency, as well as how do you weave that into a symphony to achieve the goal? And I love that chess. The other thing is marketing has really evolved. I think it used to be much more qualitative, but with the rise of digital, there's been this whole quantitative
Right.
that's arisen. And so marketing today is really this intersection of the qualitative and the quantitative. And if you go back to my education, for example, my undergraduate, I had a minor in business. I also had a minor in philosophy. There's the qualitative. But I also had a major in engineering. My MBA, I had a major in marketing, and I had a major in finance. Again, it's the qualitative, the quantitative. And I just love working at that intersection. I love playing the chess, and I love building things. And that's why I put myself through that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's wrap it up. This has been great, by the way. Thank you both very much. So, Doug, who should be reaching out to you these days, and how should they do it?
Yeah, if you're a B2B tech company and you're looking for someone to help you get to market, you're looking for someone who can run campaigns, you should be reaching out to me. If you're in the fitness business, you should reach out to Jevon.
Jevon, who should reach out to you, do you think? And how should they do it?
Um,
Is it your website?
yeah, probably my website or LinkedIn. Like it's just my name, you
Okay.
can search me up and find me. Um, But I'd say if you're determined to make a positive change in the world and you're reached 1 million in revenue, even before 1 million, I can still work with you in some capacity. Might just be in a shorter time commitment. Then I'll be excited to talk about what's possible and what we can really do. Not just so like the business can make money, but also for the people whose lives will be impacted by what the business does for that impact as well. Because that's really for me, that's what it's all about. It's not just about building a business, increasing top line revenue, making all that money. Like that's all cool and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like that impact and that moment in real time where people are like, "This is amazing." That's that moment for me. That's what it's all about, and trying to create that moment in as many different ways as I possibly can. So if
Cool.
business is looking to do that, oh yeah, I'm your guy.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Doug. Thanks,
Dean,
Jevon.
thank you.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.